Hello everyone, I'm Elise.
And I'm Chloe.
And welcome to the Cool Down Room. It's race week, so let's talk about the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. You may notice that Chloe is wearing a mask. This is because she doesn't feel well. So I am going to be headlining most of this episode.
First of all, this is our last episode together in the studio for the full calendar year.
Which kind of sucks.
Yeah. Elise will be going to LA in the spring, and I'm going to London in the fall. So
we will still be on Zoom. Don't worry. The audio on my end might not be as good because I won't be in a padded room. But it'll be okay.
Yeah, the next time we're going to see together, we will be second semester juniors, which is kind of
Well, I'll be a first semester senior. I mean, it is the last race of the season, so as you said in the notes, it is kind of perfect timing that, like, this is the last one for now. We still have not decided what we're doing over winter break, by the way.
That's fine.
It'll be fine. Once we get back, the way our, like, college winter break is shorter, so once we kind of get back from that, there will be discussion, because I believe testing will start in late February for next season. However, right now, we don't have anything planned. Oh my God, it's the last time Isaac's going to be with VCarb.
Crazy.
I have a lot of thoughts on this. I don't love it.
Yeah. Arvid Lindblad will be replacing him at VCarb. He is an F2 driver. He wasn't the champion this year, but I think he was runner-up. Isaac
will be going to Red Bull, as we well know, and that is...
Yeah.
Look, I will say I heard recently that Helmut Marko may be stepping down, so things might get better.
Yeah.
I have a tiny bit of hope that maybe it won't be that bad. It just sucks that Yuki's on reserve now for them.
Last race ever with 20 drivers because Cadillac will be added.
I'm hype.
Yeah.
I will be Cadillac girly come this spring.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Last race with Kick Sauber, as it will now be called Audi. They were acting like Kick Sauber like wasn't gonna be on the grid anymore.
Oh, right.
I was like, no, babes, like it's just a name change. Like it's not like they're dying. Like they're not leaving.
Yeah. Last race with DRS. I don't remember who they said was the first guy to push the first driver to push the DRS button, but Kimi was the last one to push it.
Damn.
Which has some like significance because he's also like really young. I feel like
that's very poetic. There being tribute videos for DRS makes me laugh.
That was really funny. There's a lot of important things besides the championship decider happened this weekend.
A lot happened. The drivers had their annual driver dinner. It was Lewis's turn to plan and host. They pick a restaurant. But somebody, I don't remember who it was, somebody posted the picture on Instagram being like, oh, dress code was white shirt, but not everybody got the memo.
That was Yuki.
Yeah. And
then Lando put his caption as traditions, no food will be thrown this year in parentheses. If you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
Our intro is literally longer than like our quality notes, whatever.
Yeah,
but yeah, it was a very important race. It was Nico's 250th Grand Prix, so his helmet was gold.
Yay, Nico. Yeah. Okay. FP1.
Yeah.
Pato Award winning for McLaren. Which I have thoughts on. Oscar should run. Oscar should leave McLaren. Because they're not treating him well. You can play the fair bullshit all you want. And yes, I know that, like, it was acknowledged a long time ago that, like, Pato would be going in for FP1 in Abu Dhabi. Like, this was kind of always on the plan. Like, they plan these quite far in advance. However, if you knew that they were going to have a shot at the championship this year, why would you not plan to do that earlier? You know, you don't have to have your reserves in a lot. Like, I want to say it's like they have to just run, like, 2 sessions a season. Like, you could have done this before summer break. You could have done this after summer break. You had to do it now, and it had to be... I love Lando's fine, but it had to be Oscar.
A lot of F2 drivers or FE drivers in FP1.
Indy, because Pato is for Indy right now. As for the rundown, Arthur Leclerc and Ferrari, Arvid Lindblad and Red Bull, Jack Crawford and Sion Shields, I hope I'm saying that right, and Aston Martins, Paul Aaron in an Alpine, Ryo Hirakawa in a Haas, Ayumu Isawa in a V-Carb, and Luke Browning in a Williams. Jack Crawford, American hero?
Yep.
Get his ass on the grid. get his ass on the grid right now. Whatever team wants to do that for me, you will have, I won't promise that I'll be a fan of you. You can be like my second favorite. However, you will have my goodwill forever. I know I am a tiny podcaster, okay? This is a tiny little fun podcast. We don't have that much influence. However, please, with all of the love in my heart, please put Jack Crawford on the grid.
Yeah.
Please. I need another American. I can't keep rooting for Europeans. It's just, it hurts my soul a little bit every time.
Gabby going.
Not Williams, though. I still don't trust Williams.
Yeah. Gabby was like, who's in the Ferrari? And then they were like, Leclerc Jr.
Which.
And Max thought that was really funny.
Well, also because Charles is older.
Yeah.
And he was.
That's why I said Leclerc Jr.
I thought he was talking about Charles when he said that. Maybe he was talking about.
He was like, who's in the Ferrari, because it wasn't Charles, and they were like Leclerc Jr. And then Max thought that was really funny.
It is really funny.
Yeah.
Paul almost crashed, but he caught it. Pablo Montoya was in the box with the commentators. He's like an ex-driver, and when Paul almost crashed, he wasn't like on a mic at that point, but you could hear the noise he made, and it was really funny. It was like this little like.
I'm so sorry. You need to carry this one.
It's okay. I can carry this one. We're good. Charles, Jesus Christ. Wrong Ferrari, except Carlos isn't in a Ferrari anymore. Carlos and his engineer. Carlos goes, Sector 2, I can't push the braking. His engineer said, copy, why? And Carlos said, you know why.
Huh.
Which is ominous because we don't know why. Carlos, what's going on in that Williams? You wanna share with the class?
Yeah. Ollie's been having a lot of technical difficulties, so he lost power because of a hydraulic leak.
And he just started cruising. They didn't even pull him over or like have him stop. The commentators were talking about, and they were like, yeah, eventually with that kind of leak, like everything just stops working. Pablo Montoya goes, he just shifted, so there's still hope. Yep. And he managed to like do pretty much the rest of the session, if I'm remembering correctly, but like that's the kind of thing you pull him in for, guys. It's the kind of thing you gotta fix, like, pretty quick. Max's engineer saying you've got Leclerc Jr. at 3 seconds. It's just funny.
Yeah, because you don't like
silly.
Unlike some of the other F2 drivers, you don't usually like Arthur is rarely on the track. So to see him here, and then they had to call him Leclerc Jr., I just think it's funny.
I don't know if anybody else notices. I don't know if you noticed, but in the when they had like their radios up, it was A Leclerc and C Leclerc.
Yeah. Because
they had to differentiate between the two. I would love to see them on the grid together, like actually, because that would be fun. The commentators just worded something really weird, and it took me a long time to figure out what they were saying. There was one point where the commentators were like, oh, Yas Marina is the only circuit in which Charles has finished on the podium in the last 3 seasons. I was like, I don't think that's right. And I had to think about it for so long to figure that out. Like, it was the most little detail, but, like, it stopped me in my tracks because I, like, had to, like, go back and, like, look at, like, I was looking at, like, the last 3 seasons of Abu Dhabi podiums, and I was like, what am I looking at? Fun fact, on Yas Marina Island, there's a Ferrari theme park.
Yeah.
And one day, Chloe and I will go. It'll be far in the future, probably, but one day we'll go.
George's engineer got the name wrong. They said Wasa, and he was like, I think you mean award. And then he was like, easy mistake. I feel like it's not.
I feel as though that is not, in fact, an easy mistake. Max while driving. Sorry. This just makes me laugh.
Broken on the car. Well, it's everywhere now.
Well, okay. Like, how does that happen? Max. Okay. Charles the ballerina.
Yep.
He's back.
Again. Pablo Montoya saying he's loose as a goose.
He spun, and Pablo Montoya said that, and then after that you hear Arthur on his radio go, I think Charles is doing some burnouts for the fans. The commentators were like, oh, he clocked. Like,
yeah.
They called out Arthur for clocking him. They were like, your little brother just, like, giving you shit for What's going on? FP2, nothing happened.
Like, literally nothing.
Very little actually happened. The left air vent of Charles's visor was pointing up, so air was, like, actively going into his eye. Oh, my God.
Hey, what's this guy doing? Almost crashed. Lando about Max. Back at it, beefing with each other again.
And so we're going to talk about it. Because right before this, Max's engineer had been like, oh, you've got Norris not opening a lap behind you, or maybe he is coming through, and it was really stilted, and Max moved, okay? Max moved once he knew that Lando was right behind him. Lando, do not play with me. You did not almost crash. Like, Max had moved. Like, I'm sorry if it looked like you almost crashed. You did not. You were not gonna crash. Had Max not moved? Yes, but Max moved out of the way once he realized you were coming. Lay off. Just
Kimmy called someone an idiot, but I don't know who it was. And I always just think it's funny when he curses because he's just a baby.
It's so funny.
Both Williams are struggling because that was like the commentators, I'm pretty sure. And then because like they're Williams guys.
Who said that? Must have been the wind. There was also something wrong with Alex's engine, but they didn't say what.
Ollie Behrman currently living his best rookie life, and then they were like, Franco is the only driver right now who hasn't scored a single point. And I was like, oh, damn. I don't know why they put the comment in there about Ollie not going to lie. He was doing really well, though. And
yeah.
His radio
Ollie's been doing lovely. I love how well he's been doing.
His radio was like, oh, the car's doing great, guys.
FP3, Lewis immediately into the barricades. And something buckled in the front and snapped in the rear.
That's like about as, like, if that doesn't describe the current season with Ferrari or this season with Ferrari, I don't know what does.
And then the commentators were like, oh, for the most successful driver around this circuit, stop reminding me.
Yeah.
Why would you remind me of that? Okay. It just makes me sad. George like drove by and goes, whoa. And he was like, oh, like, I was going to tell you guys something, but, like, because he was on radio, he was like, I was going to tell you guys something, but, like, I just passed Lewis. And, like, whoa. Ollie was 0.008 of a second off of Lando at one point. So, basically, he was really, really close, which I believe is, like, 0.008, if I'm not going crazy.
The fuck is this American commentator? God. Can we get him out, please? I don't like his voice. F1 feels so quintessentially European, and I love seeing an American, but, like, it also just feels fundamentally weird.
Like, it just feels weird, like, listening to that. Kimi and Yuki, did they collide or did they almost collide? They collided in the pit lane.
It was really bad. They were just, like, both instructed to go out at the same time, and then both of them got really mad at their engineers because they were like, how did you not see that?
Yeah. The man who created Sauber was there to watch their last like race as Sauber, which is adorable.
Max upset with the car. He said it was bouncing again. It's been bouncing like all seasons.
It's been bouncing all season. I don't know how you don't fix that. Like, I'm sorry, I am not an engineer and I don't work with cars, and I don't understand how you don't fix that when like your driver's like the car is bouncing.
Yeah.
So fix it. Like, so have the car stop bouncing.
But yeah, it wasn't that interesting.
But George had the fastest lap, so that was great for me. I love George. Quali. Sorry, I just fully kicked you. Q1, at one point, they were all within a second of each other. Like, no one was more than a second behind the person in front of them. And I was like, honestly, a little bit freaked.
Yeah, it was tense.
It was tense. He's been knocked out in Q1 in the last 2 consecutive races. About Lewis, stop reminding me. Just stop. Stop talking. Stop talking about Lewis not having a good season, okay? We know. You don't have to. I talk so much about Lewis Hamilton for someone who's a George main, but I just stop it. Stop it. Be quiet.
He was knocked out by Gabby, which really just shows you the comparison and how, like, famously really good teams have been doing versus, like, famously
really bad teams. Lewis goes, every time, mate, I'm so sorry. I was like, do not apologize. This is not your fucking fault. This is not your fault, Lewis. You are blameless. And then Lewis apparently started crying when he was still in the car in the pit. However, I will say, apparently, Ferrari is making some like personnel changes over the break and is making a lot of changes over the break. So hopefully, I don't have a lot of hope, but I have like 1% hope that Ferrari will be okay, or at least not horribly mentally draining for Lewis and like not cause him to be kind of very clearly depressed. I mean, not to like speculate or anything, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, but like, that man's fed up.
Yeah.
He's fed up. Can we not have him be fed up? Because I would like him to have one more championship, and then I would be okay.
Yep.
He needs to like Rosberg it and get one more and then retire and then be done. Because he's so busy and he like, we're going to get into his personal life for a minute, which I normally don't do on this podcast because I don't think it's any of our business. However, he's said before that like he wants to settle down and stuff and like eventually, but he also has been like he like can't do that when he's in F1, and he was like, I don't know how Checo doesn't, I don't know how any of these guys with like wives and families and kids do this, where they settle down and they have like families and kids and they are also drivers, because it's so much, and he like doesn't feel like he would be present with his children if he was a driver and a father at the same time. And I think that he deserves that. So I would like to see him get one more WGC next season and then be done and then get to do something else and settle down and like have that, because he's clearly he said he wants it, and I think he deserves that.
You too.
It was kind of the same thing in Q2 as in Q1, where it was like the tiniest gaps between everyone, so it was really, really tense.
Fernando in P2 or P4. Okay.
Kimi had no rear, so he was out in Q2. But other than that, nothing fucking happened.
Yeah.
Like for Abu Dhabi, for the championship deciding race, it was kind of fucking boring.
Yeah.
We'll
get into that.
Quality was boring.
Q3.
Red Bull are using team tactics. Thank God.
Like that's what y'all should always be doing, but maybe that's just me.
Well, so, okay, I was talking to my friend about this the other day, where I was like, what they should do, their goal should be to have Max number 1 and Yuki number 2, or just like right in front of the McLarens, and have Yuki defend for his goddamn life so that they can't get past Max, and basically push them back as much as possible and let other people through as much as possible, because Lando needed to be 4th or below, and Oscar needed to be 6th or below, I think like 3rd or below, in order for Max to win.
Yeah.
And so at one point they had Yuki give Max like a tow through a slipstream, and that was the good. Like that's good. That's what they should be doing, because Max like they should have been having Yuki defend for his fucking life. They also, I don't know where this is in here, but at one point the commentators were like, "Oh, haha, like not." Like, why would you have told like I wouldn't have told Yuki that he was dropped this week. I would have waited a week, which is so funny. Like, me too. Why would you tell him now? This is the worst time.
Max was 3/10 quicker than anyone else, and I really thought it was funny how you put it as a fraction.
Well, because that's what they said.
Yeah, but
that's how you phrase it,
like,
and it's easier that way. Max is not my favorite driver. He doesn't even crack my top 5.
Yeah,
but he also like he does manage to impress me every weekend.
Yeah,
and that's something I appreciate about him. Like, no matter how many times that I think like, oh yeah, like Max he's a great driver, I don't really care what he does, but he's a great driver. Every weekend he manages to do something that like proves that to me and makes me think about him. Yeah. Like, I'm kind of forced to. So even though he's not my favorite, I still have a lot of appreciation for like who he is as like a driver and an athlete, because he's always like pushing that like ceiling of like what he can do. George almost crashing. He like twisted his wheel super quick and caught it, and you could see him jerk the wheel.
Yeah.
Because they had like driver cam on, and you can see him like really hard, and I was like, oh my God.
It was insane.
It was insane.
Max was on pole by 0.201 seconds, then Lando, then Oscar. Oscar was in press conferences that day, and he was like, really does set us up for an interesting weekend. I was like,
Max, yeah, no shit. Max said, let's go, guys. I was like, hell yeah, let's go. You know what? I love the vibe.
Yeah. This is just a side note, but like because it was the last race of the season, all the families, all the wags.
Max actually didn't, except for Kelly. Max didn't.
Penelope was there.
Penelope was there, but like everybody else had like parents there and stuff, and I was
also
like
older, so.
He's older. He's been doing it for a while. He was like, yeah, Max was saying like, oh, like plans were made like a while ago. And like, also, I wouldn't want to be forced to see Jos Verstappen on my screen. So like, call me cynical all you want, but like, I don't mind that Jos Verstappen wasn't there.
Yeah.
Because if I had been forced to see him on my screen, we all would have heard about it now.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, apparently we're getting into the race, but there's kind of like a little bit of press stuff before it. But Oscar just kind of like looked at the floor when he was asked about team orders at the press conference.
Yeah.
And
really just tells you we can all depict what that means.
Yeah. Like I said last week, you can tell the season's over. You can tell we're all done. Like they're ready to be done. Especially Oscar. Oscar is ready to be done.
Oscar overtook Lando in the first lap. I was like, okay.
And because he needed to be second to win, I was like, hell yeah, like let's fucking go. I was like, look, Lando, just drop a little bit and then we're good. If it wasn't Max, I wanted it to be Oscar because
I was not that. I was like, if it's not Max, then I want it to be Lando.
Well, I wanted it to be Oscar because I felt like after the treatment that he's gotten from McLaren this season, which Lando's treatment has also sucked, but like Oscar has kind of faced the brunt of like the team orders crap. And so I wanted it to be Oscar because I was like, he deserves a good end. Like a really good end after like everything that he's been through this season with them.
One of the commentators called driving instinctively selfish.
Drivers instinctively selfish. I was like, damn clock, but they were like, oh, like they're always gonna do the thing that it improves their lives or like is the best for them. And I'm like, yeah, that's how people are. Lewis came in at lap 9, so did Alex, but that's just like pit stuff. They brought up 2016 because Chloe said, girl, why is this significant? It is significant, and I've been meaning to do an episode on this, so maybe I'll do this over winter break, but I meant to do this when the F1 movie came out, but 2016 is when Nico Rosberg won his first and only championship, and it was the fall of Brosades. They were kind of comparing Lando and Oscar to Lewis and Nico. And it we were not ready. I'm kind of glad that the fallout doesn't seem to have been as bad as Lewis and Nico's was, because I was like, I don't really want to see another one of those. That would just make me sad.
Yeah. Liam got a penalty for driving erratically, and I low-key feel like that describes him as a person. Maybe that's just me.
No, that's funny. Nico Hulkenberg was fastest around like lap 14-ish, and his lap was a full second faster than everyone at the front. I was like, dog, can you hit that DRS button and just get moving? Because if I almost called him Nico Rosberg. If Nico Hulkenberg had won Abu Dhabi, I think I would have cried.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been amazing.
George tried to undercut Lando and then Charles and went slow, and it was kind of sad.
It was just depressing to watch him try to undercut Lando and Charles and then like be too slow out of the pit lane. It just made me sad.
Yeah.
It was just sad to watch. Esteban was in third at one point.
If that's not moving under braking, I don't know what is.
George was clocking Charles, and the stewards didn't even say anything. One of the commentators goes, wow, it's like we're watching the F1 movie. I went, do not play with me.
Girl.
Do not bring that up. Do not say that name in this house. We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
We do not talk about that, okay? We need to move on. We swore we weren't going to talk about it. We need to move on. This is where the commentators were saying I might have told Yuki he was dropped next week because they asked Yuki to fight Lando for Max. And then Yuki goes, I know what to do, so leave it to me. Yep. I was like, hell yeah. Yuki should have stayed in third.
Yep.
Yuki should have been in third. Lando should have been in fourth. And Oscar should have been in second.
Charles being on Lando's ass for, like, basically the entirety of the race. And then Lando pitted, and the gap was so big between him and Charles that he could come out of the pits and did not lose a single place. Nor did he lose any time. And then somebody said it's always Oh, this was the commentators. It's
Yeah.
always funky racing against Liam Lawson. He's an aggressive driver. And I was like, was that really necessary?
We know. Like, we've been
Girl,
new.
we know.
At one point, this must have been when Yuki was in third. I wrote "Fight for your goddamn life, Yuki." And then there was an incident between Lando and Yuki, and Yuki got a penalty for they were debating the stewards were talking with Yuki for forcing another driver off the track, but Lando for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Yuki got a 5-second penalty for changing direction / moving twice in defense of Norris. And
I think they should have gave the penalty to Lando.
He did, okay. Objectively, he did
Or they should have just let it drop.
Yeah, Lando did get forced off the track a little bit. However, a 5-second penalty for that, like, that's a lot. Like, come on now. Let's just calm down. Like, and then no further action. Because I'm like, if you're gonna, like, give Yuki a 5-second penalty for, like, the smallest possible thing, you should, or like one of the smallest things in my opinion, you should probably also give Lando a penalty.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Oscar because Oscar didn't pit until lap 40.
And it wasn't 40 though. It was like 40 something.
A little bit after that.
Yeah.
Like he did not pit for the vast majority of the race. And I didn't even notice when he did. Like we hit lap 50 something and I was like, hasn't he not pitted yet? Is that allowed? And it's not, but he had pitted.
And I had been watching it and I was like, I literally watched him pit, but it was really late in the race.
Yeah.
They kept asking him how his tires were like before he pitted and he was just like, I don't know, they're getting worn down. He was like, what do you think?
Yeah. Like I've been doing this for like over 40 laps. How do you think my tires are? I would not have been happy if I was Oscar.
Oh yeah, no.
I didn't love that they did that. Because even at one point, even everyone other than Lance had pitted and Oscar still hadn't. And I was like, guys, he's got to go in eventually. It's the rules. Them's the rules. Like, he's got to go.
They were talking about Esteban, Lewis, and Fernando fighting, and then they like didn't
show it. I was like, guys, please, can we take the camera off of I know this is like the championship fight, but we can take the camera off of Max, Lando, and Oscar for 2 seconds to show what you're talking about. Yeah. Like, please. Guys, with love, I would have loved to see Lewis, Esteban, and Fernando actually fighting, but like, no.
Yeah. Honestly, this race wasn't that exciting, other than watching Oscar and Max just go back and forth for first.
Which was great, but like
there weren't like any dramatic like crashes. Nobody got like DQ'd. Franco stayed in for the entirety of the race, which I think is like one of 2 times that's happened this season. Didn't score points, but he was still in it to win it. I was so happy about this. Katie and I almost started crying.
You and Katie were almost crying, and I was texting Chloe being like, oh, that's great. Good for him. I don't care.
Katie's been following Lando and F1 since like 2016.
Well, yeah.
So
that's like before he got into it.
But like she's been following Lando since he got into F1, like since he like got accepted as a driver. So like this was a big deal for her.
Yeah.
My mother's favorite driver is Lando, so she was very happy about that. I was happy for him, honestly. I was just like, dang, season's over. Okay.
I was happy for him, but I also don't care that much. Like I was like, great.
It truly does not impact our lives. But
exactly.
It's really cool.
I would have been way more into it like if it was George. Like you can tell that like Lando is one of those drivers where I'm like, you're great. I think you're a good driver. I don't really see your existence otherwise. Like I don't really mind or need to know anything about you. Yeah. And if it had been George, I would have been a lot more excited. Or like Lewis, obviously I would have been excited.
This pissed me off. Zach going.
Oh my God. Zach.
He was like, hi Lando, is this the world champion hotline? And I was like,
shut the fuck up.
Nobody asked for that.
Nobody asked you to say that. Also, he interrupted Oscar's engineer when Oscar's engineer was like congratulating him on his season, being like, you did a good job. Zach went and like interrupted him and said the most tone deaf thing I've like ever heard someone say on a radio. And
he's just okay. This is not just me, I know that, but I just feel like it needs to be said. I think that we've talked about earlier with Luke Browning that I think there should be more American F1 drivers.
Luke Browning is British.
Oh,
Jack Crawford.
Yeah, right. I don't think there should be an American team owner.
I don't mind an American team owner.
But maybe it's just because Zach Brown is just like a white
It's
man.
Zach Brown specifically. Zach Brown is the problem.
I feel like this is so weird, but like when I started like learning who he was and like what his job was, I was like, why do I feel like I've met this man before at like a potluck?
It's because he's like every white man.
He's
every like white uncle that's like kind of estranged that you don't really talk to, but like you specifically don't talk to him by choice.
He's like that one uncle who's like definitely a Republican, but he never really says anything, and then he'll say one comment at like Thanksgiving dinner, and the whole family is like, dude.
It's like, but like, in like that one comment is like more Republican than anything else you've ever heard someone say in your fucking life.
Yeah.
And so even like your Republican family members are looking at him like he's nuts.
And I just feel like he interrupted Oscar's engineer, and Oscar was just like, girl, what?
Oscar, I take this with a grain of salt, but I heard, I need to stop gossiping about F1 drivers on this podcast, but I heard that is what this podcast is. I heard that Oscar like muted his radio.
Oh, I bet.
When Zach was talking, which fair enough, I would too.
Also,
I would. You would do it too.
Yeah. Lando was like bawling his eyes out, which is
actually
sweet.
really sweet. I was like, okay.
Whole family was there.
I have never related to Lando more because when he was crying, he goes, "I'm not crying. I look like a loser." I was like, haha, me.
Crying is like normal and healthy, but also, I mean,
crying in public.
When Lando won Silverstone,
I don't like it. I don't like crying in public. We know this.
I do it quite frequently.
I hate it so bad. I'm working on it, but I hate it so bad.
I feel like this was like the official hard launch of Lando and McGwee low-key. Because they kissed after the race was over, and everyone was just like, damn. And then she posted about it, and the caption says, "My little world champion," in all caps. And then, because it's Lando, he goes and gets like wasted that night.
Good for him.
Have you seen the clips?
No, I haven't seen any of the clips.
I think he was at like one party particularly. He made a post this morning of him partying, and it said, "Earned this hangover."
Good for him.
And
you know what?
There's videos of him singing Sweet Caroline while like two dudes lift him up, and then there's a video of him singing We Are the Champions like 4 times. And McGwee is like very clearly like way more sober than he is, and so she's like trying to get him under rein, but like bro is
not having it.
He's not
there. You know what? If there is any driver that I want to party with,
it's Lando.
It's Lando. It's Kimmy and then it's Lando.
Yeah.
Mostly because like I want to party with the rookies first because we're also close in age that like it would be like a good time. But Lando is like for sure on that list.
Yeah.
Like that man knows how to party.
Also, this is like kind of related but not. On the podium ceremony, obviously Lando got second, or he got third. But he won the championship.
Yeah.
So he was actually like the first one to come out onto the podium. But when Oscar came out, there was like not enough hype that he got second.
There was not. Because
people were saying that like they need to start paying more attention to him just because he looked kind of sad and lonely.
Yeah. Also, like, especially last race when like supposedly there were like only a couple of McLaren employees actually like there at the podium with Oscar. I was like, guys, you do have 2 drivers.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, like this is not like we can't glass child this. Yeah. Like you have to like parent like it's like
parent.
It's like when you have 2 kids. You can't just ignore one of them. Yeah. You're not Joy Spires. Oh. That's sorry. Whoa.
I don't even know who that is.
If you've seen Stranger Things, you get it. My hot take about Joyce is that this is not even a hot take, but I think she's far too protective of Will and ignores Jonathan far too much, and it shows in the way that they act. Yeah. And look, McLaren, you're not Joyce Byers. You can't parent like that and get away with it like she can. She's traumatized. You're not.
Yeah. But it was a very emotional. Lando did not stop crying for like 20 minutes. It was really cute. I didn't put this in my notes because I knew I was going to remember to talk about it. When they're, like, spraying the champagne, they put it down his back. Like, somebody put a bottle, stuck it in his race suit.
That's so funny.
And I was like, no, the way I would start crying.
That's so funny,
Those things are, like, airtight.
Oh, yeah. No, that must have been, like, a sensory nightmare, but it's really funny. I had apple cider dumped down, like, my back once and, like, dumped on my head. It was by choice. Yeah. I did it by choice. It was my senior year of high school, and it was my last day. So it was very much by choice. But it was...
I just can't.
It was fun.
Being sticky. So
yeah, no, that's fair. That was not. It wasn't a comfortable feeling. I like went home and showered pretty quick.
Yeah. Lando's mom's bracelets.
I love that she has all of those bracelets. I think it's really cute.
And she wears pigtails.
I love her energy. Like
I love her so much.
You know, like when you see a person on TV and you're like, I love your vibe. Like I really like your vibe and the way that you seem as a person. She reminds me of my friend's mom, like from high school. Yeah. but like in a cooler way.
I don't know if we've ever mentioned this on the podcast. Lando's mom is South African and his dad is British. So he has like a little bit of like a different accent other than British when he speaks, and that's where it's from. I learned that this weekend. Because
Fun facts with Chloe.
They were interviewing his mom after the race, and I was like, that woman is not British. No. You can tell she's lived in England, but she is not from She's not from England. Okay. Oscar and Lily finally having like PDA in front of the camera. I gasped like out loud when I saw that post, and then my roommate was like, wait, what? And I was like, this F1 thing, and I sent it to Katie, and she was like gagged.
They're cute.
They're really cute. And then he was doing an interview afterwards, and they were like, you had your whole family here, like all of his sisters and stuff. What did that mean? And he was like, oh well, like Lily's been through all of it with me. Yeah. And I thought that was really cute.
Yeah, we will probably be audio only over the break because neither one of us has a good camera, but once we come back for normal like race weeks and everything, it will be on Zoom, so you will see our faces.
Yeah, you will be able to see both of us. I will not be able to see both of us in person for a hot second, but it's okay.
It's okay.
Because actually, after like we stop filming this, it's not the last time Elise and I are gonna see each other this week.
No, we see each other almost every day. Like pretty much guaranteed we see each other 4 days out of the week.
Yeah.
So, but that is all that we have for you today. And for the 2025 F1 season, it was a doozy. We're tired. The drivers are tired. We all need the winter break. Yeah. But yeah, that is all that we have for you today and all that we have for the 2025 season. It's been a doozy. It's been a long one. The drivers are tired. So are we. We all need the break. As we said, we don't really know what's happening over the winter break yet, but when we know, you will know. So make sure you are following us on Instagram at Ithaca Cool Down Room.
And make sure you follow or subscribe and like this YouTube video. And comment down below ideas for what you want us to do over winter break while we're by ourselves.
And make sure you are a listener on the Spotify. With that being said, I'm Elise.
And I'm Chloe.
And we will see you very soon. Chloe in person, presumably. Me over Zoom or during whatever we do over the break. Have very lovely holidays. Have a great new year. We will see you sometime soon. Mwah!